a reality when it's not a reality. And guess what? You're getting paid to do it. Okay. And I'm just thinking, if she was a Jewish leader, if she was a Chinese leader, if she was a leader of the Greek community or whatever, brothers and sisters, do you think they would ever even dream of speaking to our sister like that? Sister Katrina, please, let me let you in, sister. Come in.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, thanks for the platform this evening. I didn't watch the video because I've only watched it twice since it happened. I refused to watch it again. It was one of the most awful experiences I've had, and I've been doing media for solidly 3 or 4 years now on all sorts of TV programs, news shows. But I decided to leave that interview to just ensure that my integrity and my dignity was kept intact, because where he was taking me was a place of low. So yeah, I left the interview, as you could see, and proceeded to do and carry on with my day. However, the guy, I didn't watch the end of it because, as you could see, he continued to trash me even when I left, and then subsequently shared that on Twitter. So that clip was shared on Twitter, and it was cut specifically like that and shared. And then I started to get a lot of Twitter hate. Loads.
What? Say that again, sister.
A lot of Twitter hate.
Wow.
People on Twitter, just all of this stuff. So off the back of that, people in civil society, so organizations such as Liberty, Release, United Borders, and others said that they would not do interviews with that organization again. I have complained to Ofcom, and the head of compliance called me last week to tell me that she would be speaking with the man in question. Yeah, I kind of raised that I was seeking litigation advice in terms of slander, and at that point they removed it about 20 minutes after from the internet. So yeah, that was I think for many people they'll say, oh, why did you not stay and fight your corner? I'm just at a point in my life where I only debate with equals, and once you start name calling, I have enough self-respect to not engage with somebody and to leave them to just engage with themselves. So it was one of those times where, had I stayed, he probably would have beat me on ignorance and experience, because it's just not a place that I'm used to being in, is being called a race grifter.
And has that ever happened to you before in an interview?
No, it's never happened to me before.
Wow, sister. And let's get it right, because you said that they removed it from their Twitter account or whatever it may be. But I know today I went on to YouTube just to check, and Brot says it's nearly hit over 100,000 views on that. You know, wow. And there's probably different videos on it, but the one video that I saw, sister, it was nearly over 100,000 views. So, you know, they're still peddling in it, sister. They're still peddling in it.
Yeah, but I need to be really real. Like, I have to pick my battles. I have to pick what I do. And every time somebody does something, I can't go running and responding. So we have a follow-up conversation about it being on social media or wherever. But to be honest, it can be wherever it is. I'm highly blessed. I'm highly favored. If that's the narrative they want to stick to, it says much more about them than it does me. But I really have to preserve my energy, because these people will tire you out. And actually fighting police racism is what my speciality is. It's not the media. So I'll continue to challenge, and I will, when I speak to the head of compliance, ask them to remove it. However, I don't really know if I want it removed, because I think there's something about making people see what these people are like.
Absolutely. So, I mean, to be honest with you, sister, that is my view. Because to me,
if things get removed, then it sometimes means it didn't happen, and it did happen, and people have to own that. What I'd like is a public apology, because I'm not a race grifter. I never have been a race grifter. I thought that I gave a perfect example of what I meant when I said police racism. So yeah, that's kind of where it's at the minute. It's with the head of compliance. Apparently that Ian Collins was off sick last week. You have to excuse me, I'm out at the moment, so I'm having to take this call in a small room. So if you can hear noises, it's because I'm not in a kind of private place. So yeah, it's been a bit of a long week, having to kind of do things that are outside of my job, which is writing to Ofcom, and also thanking people who did come out and support me and say that they won't be doing interviews with those people. But as I said, for me, it was just better for my mental health, my dignity, my integrity to leave the conversation. Had I been who I was a few years ago, I may have stayed because I wanted to be potentially right. But with those people, you can never be right. There is no right with them. There is just them. So yeah, I left and I feel all the much better for it.
Thank you, sister. And I'm sure that, you know, we appreciate the work that you're doing, sister. And just before you go, sis, let us know about a little bit about Unjust. What is the work that they do, and also how can we, or is there anything we on this platform, we've got nearly 300 people on the platform, is there anything that you would like us to do? Because me personally, before you say this, when he insulted you, sister, understand that we got to get away from the fact that he's insulted one sister. As soon as I saw that, especially as a black man, seeing a black woman being insulted based on the work that she's doing or based on our community, I had to take it personal. I had to make it personal because we're the only ones well, I say we're the only ones, due to slavery and due to the just apathy, okay, that we are a people that, you know what, everyone goes for themselves. And I'm saying, hell no. For him to disrespect you, sister, it wasn't about you. It's about what you stand for and the work that you do on behalf of the whole community. And in reality, you're not only fighting for the black community, you're fighting for freedom, justice, and equality, and having a fair police society. So please let us know about Unjust, and is there anything we in our community can do to support you more?
Okay, yeah, so Unjust is a non-profit that I set up earlier this year after leaving Stopwatch, where I was the chief executive. And Stopwatch was a charity that dealt with just stop and search, recognizing there was not bigger problems, but more wider issues than stop and search. I set up Unjust, and our strapline is right and wrong, creating equity. We look at research and policy, but also provide workshops, seminars, and public engagement around different parts of knowing your rights, whether that be about police in schools, use of force, stop and search, drug law enforcement. So a range of services. And then we also support people with casework. So if somebody gets arrested or stopped and searched, or actually feels the police haven't taken something seriously, they can come to us. We can do some casework on their behalf, and if necessary, refer them to solicitors and barristers if they need legal advice. I've put in the group chat, we're going to be having our first ever event on the 13th of December. It's in collaboration with Leeds University, and it's a community testimony day to give people, Black, Asian, ethnic minority communities, but this is a Black platform, an opportunity to come and share their experiences of being policed in the pandemic. The event will be in person. It's going to take place in Brixton at the Unjust offices, International House. So the details are there. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we would really love for people. It's really limited, only about 30 spaces available. And we're really aiming it at people who have had an interaction with the police during this lockdown period. And the reason I say that is because in the midst of a global pandemic where they're saying Black, Asian, ethnic minority communities were disproportionately impacted by this virus, police found it fit to increase stop and search by 24%. So that is a huge increase, one of the biggest in like the last 7 or 8 years. And I think that's a problem. So we really want to capture what the lived experiences of people who have been over policed in that period is. And that's on Monday, the 13th of December. I'm pretty sure it's on Monday the 13th of December in the Unjust offices. I put a link to the Eventbrite. So if you or anybody you know has been impacted by policing, we'd love to hear from you. It's from, I think, 6:30 until 9. We'll have some refreshments and an opportunity for you to meet me in person and hear a bit more about what we do.
Okay, can you just give the date one more time, sis?
Yeah, Monday, the 13th of December, and the link is in the chat. It was the Eventbrite link. Tickets are available, and this is over 18s event. It's not a rave, but this is an event, unless you bring a child with you, they have to be accompanied. But the whole point is that we want to hear from adults that have received or been involved with the police. You don't necessarily have to have been arrested. You may have been stopped for COVID regulations whilst out doing exercise, but we just want to understand what your experience of being policed during the pandemic was. So yeah, that's what we do, and that's why people may have seen my face in different spaces, is because I do advocate for fair, effective and accountable policing. Obviously, I'm Black, so I'm all about the Black community, but if I'm really honest with you, I'm about equality and equity for everybody. And as soon as Black people get lifted up, the whole world gets lifted up. So we really need to address the racial disparity that's existing, and also highlight the intersectionality of poverty being a driving factor for crime, as well as inequality. So I think, yeah, that's really what we do. And I want to say thank you. I haven't had a chance to read the comments because I'm on my phone today, but I can see them coming up with all the support around Talk Radio. If you want to do something, you can complain to Ofcom for Talk Radio. You can go on my Twitter and see like what happened and complain. But yeah, that's the way forward. If you want, you can complain to Ofcom and say Ian Collins, Katrina French, you know, you was unhappy with what you saw. But equally, I want you to conserve your energy and love your children and understand our rights and all of these things. Sometimes not every argument or party you're invited to, you must attend. So, yeah.
All right, sister. Thank you so much for your time, sis. We will definitely. Sorry.
No, thank you for the platform, Brother Andrew.
No worries, no worries. We thank you, sister. And brothers and sisters, as you see there, let's have a look. Our brother, is it Cleve, right? I think it's Cleve, right? He was disgusting and insulted you deeply. He knew exactly what he was doing. This term was prepared to be used against you. It was no accident. You responded perfectly, my sister. He didn't know what to say, hence his nonsense parting words about you. Deep respect to you. And I think that was the kind of gist of the comments that are coming through thick and fast. So once again, sister, we know that you're out right now, but we thank you so much. And stay strong, beloved. Look after your soul and perfect your own energy and frequency.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brother Andrew. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for the love. If you can make the event in the Eventbrite, let me know. Yeah, and we're on the platforms that I think people are putting in there. So please do. Oh, the date was Friday. What was, hold on, let me just give the date, Brother Andrew, because they're saying what was the date of the incident. And to be honest, so many, the date was the 19th of November. It was at 1:30, and the guy's name is Ian Collins. My name's Katrina French.
Yeah,
so yeah.
I'm gonna ask Jarita, because Jarita's out, and Sister China, if they can get the Ofcom website. Let's see if we can get the Ofcom website that tonight we can put down tonight, and all of us. Can you imagine now? There's over 300 of us now on the platform. You imagine now if they get 300 angry responses based on that, because you see, brothers and sisters, not being funny, that is how the Jewish community move. Yeah, and I'm not saying that everything we got to jump on. I don't say that at all, because they'll have you running from one thing to another thing. But if there are some concerted efforts that we can do just to show that we are alive in our community, that we support each other in our community, and especially our sisters who are doing great works, okay, brothers and sisters. Let me tell you something about Jarita. Let me tell you something about Sister Katrina. I first met this sister when she was in year 9 in school, and she was part of the gifted and talented group that we took to Cambridge University. I can't remember the name of the program now.
It was Brenda King in them, and I was actually a student. I was actually a student there, and I came and spoke to the students, but I was already a student in Cambridge.
Yes, ACD. That's it, Brenda King and the ACD. She went on to go to Cambridge herself, and I believe now that you're a fellow.
Yeah, I'm an associate of the college, but yeah, that's how we met when I was there doing my degree. I think there's something I just want to touch on before I go in. It is about the treatment of Black women in the media. I won't be going on the show again, so that's the first thing. Once bitten, twice shy, so I won't be going on the show again. However, I do have to put myself in certain situations where I do have to, you know, be prepared to have an uncomfortable conversation. That's not a problem to me. But it's being called names, it's being bullied, it's being undermined, it's being belittled that I don't agree with. It was Talk Radio. It's Talk Radio. Ian Collins is the presenter, and that's why I think it's important that we do demonstrate that we won't have it, and that if you come for one, you come for all. So
That's
why I think they didn't know who I was. And not to sound anything special, but the fact that the people that I know came out on Twitter and said they weren't doing stuff, I think that prompted them to take the video down, because I don't have 1,000, I don't even think I have 1,000 followers on Twitter. So I think they thought I was some small fish that they could duppy. And then when people saw what was going on and called them out, they got quite anxious. And when I said about litigation, got anxious and stood up. But I did raise the issue that I thought if I was a Jewish lady speaking about anti-Semitism in the Labour Party, that they wouldn't have used the words race grifter. So I think there is something in, I do think there is something in duppy know who to frighten and how they try and pick on certain people. But yeah, I wasn't having it. And I left the interview, which was really big of me, because usually I think I want to tell him about his kula, but I didn't. I really just was polite and professional and just kept it moving.
kept it moving, sister. You got self-respect for who you are. And so he's got to understand he chose the wrong person, brothers and sisters. He chose the wrong person, and gone are the days that they could just treat us a certain way and we just smile and leave each other to fight our own battles. So I haven't had a chance. I mean, the chat line is just being bombarded right now. I'm not so sure if Jarita or China found the I think Jarita's found it. Jarita, you are so fantastic. China, you are so fantastic. Jarita, if you could put down the Ofcom link one more time.
The 19th of November was the date. The 19th of November at 1:30 p.m. Ian Collins.
Yeah. Jarita, thank you so much for putting down the link. So brothers and sisters, Jarita's put the Ofcom link